and we went to Slieve League, and they are the tallest cliffs in Europe. And so our goal of the day was just to hike and see the scenery around and spend the day outside. Views from the top where I don't even think you can describe them really. You can't catch them in a photograph or anything. It's something like, people say the island's beautiful and they say that it's a great place and the scenery is amazing, but you don't really understand until you're actually there. Run! We see this like bizarre rock thing on the ground, and it was like crystallized looking and white, and so we thought it was really cool, so we decided to break it. So Chris grabs the rock, and it's like not a small rock, and starts throwing it at other rocks to break it. And we didn't know like what it was, so Johnny was like, oh, I think it's salt, and dares us to lick it. It's not salt, it tastes awful. But we all like broke little pieces off and kept them and everything. We made paper airplanes, and we wanted to throw them off the cliff and like watch them, you know, fly down to the water. But instead, when we threw them off the cliff, I guess that where the wind is coming off the ocean, it hits the cliffs, it like sends a wall of air straight up the cliff. So we threw it off the cliff, and the airplane hits the wall of air and like flies backwards behind us and scares all these sheep everywhere. And the sheep were like running around. To start the hike, we decided to scale the entire mountain on the way up, like pretty much rock climbing the whole way, like hanging onto bushes, like pushing each other up, falling down the hill multiple times, barely making up, like soaked in water because we've been falling up the side of the mountain the whole time. And we finally made it to the top. Everyone's like sweating and exhausted, and so we're going back down, and we see that the entire time there was a pathway on the other side of the mountain that led just a great path all the way up to the top where we were. So instead of scaling the side of the mountain, we could have just walked up the pathway to the top.